Okay, everybody. Sorry about that little bit of a rocky start there. When I scheduled everything at the same time to start at 12:30 Pacific instead of 10:30 Pacific. So, let me clarify for everyone what is going on. We've got our regular free tip Friday right now at, well, I'm a little late, but 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Then I'm going to follow up with my buddy Jen Cushman. We're going to talk about our France trip, and that's going to come up on at 12:30 today Pacific time, same space. So sorry about that. Sorry about that confusion. When I made those streams, whenever I schedule two things on the same day, inevitably I screw up the times. So sorry about that. So here I am. I'm here. You're all here. Everybody's jumping on. So it looks like we are good. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So today, my friends, let me tell you, we are launching something at noon. Let me take a bracing drink of coffee here. We're launching something at noon. I have a preview to show you. So much going on. I thought that we would, rush up to the new year and then we'd take a breath, which we did. Maybe I took one too many breaths because I had to hit the ground running on Tuesday on the 2nd. But here we are. We're good to go. Let me show you what I've got in front of me right here. Let me do that. So you remember back of last year now, 2023, now that it's 2024. I launched these really cool vintage seed beads that I got from our bead trader from Ghana. And when he came back through, my friends, I got some more. He had some. When he does his trip up the West Coast, the cool thing is, or maybe the bad thing is, I don't know, he stops with me first. So I've got all this stuff to look at, right? So it's pretty fun. He comes, he shows me all his stuff, and he had a few bunches of seed beads, of the vintage seed beads that I just love. And so I wanted to repeat the grab bags from last time because I know that you folks love them. I love them. And whenever I do the grab bags, I have a few left over, which is cool. So I get to keep them and do a demo with them. So I get to have my hands on them, which is great. So he came, he had the bunches of seed beads, and he made me a deal. Last time, if you remember, in the bag, there were 5 strands of seed beads. I'm scrolling through to see if I can find the picture of it. But he had 5 strands in our last bunch. This bunch, he gave me a really good deal. So I was able to get 6 for the same price, which I was like, okay, that's good. So in this bag, my friends, you're getting 6 strands of the African seed beads. They're from Venice. They're Venetian, but they come through by way of Ghana, and they're old. These beads run between 75 and 100 years old. They're so gorgeous. I love them. So you're going to get 6 strands in your bag, and I put them all together for you with these very 2 hands. I got all of the bunches out and I made bunches of 6, and then I put them to the side. Chris grabbed them and he put them in a bag, right, for you. So that was great. So we had, I'm looking here at the beads, but yeah, here it is. I'm gonna, I want to download this and put this up. So Hang on for me just real quick while I screenshot this photo so you can see it. There are a lot of blues in this one, but each of the bags that you folks get will have a great variety. And I matched them. There's one bag. There was one strand in these 600 strands that had a striped bead. One bag. So so whoever gets that one, I curated that. Really, I think it's a yellow and red stripe. Anyway, I curated each one. So I hope that you folks are going to love them. Let me show you. I've got the way they come right here. So you can see they're all laid out like that. I got 6 bundles of 100. It's the way they come. They're strung up from old beads. They're strung in Ghana. And I'm going to show you how they look. But you can see there's a lot of blues there. There's some greens, some reds, some pinks. I think you're going to love them. You can't choose your colors. It's a mystery bag, right? But I held up each and I'm like this. So I've got all 6. I put them in a thing. I wound them in a nice circle like this. I handed them off to Chris. Chris put them with this little information card in this bag. So it was a real labor of love, I'll tell you. So we've got a little less than 100 bags for you folks, and they're the same price. It's 6 strands this time, but it's the same price as last time. So I think you will, I think you'll be happy about them. I'm hoping you will be. Anyways, my friends, there's that story. So let me show you. Let me take these off. Let me look at comments and see what people are saying. They're all glass. So let me tell you a little bit. Look at these. I'm going to put this there, and I want to grab something for you. So they're here. I saw that there was a question about me going to Tucson. Yes, I'm going to Tucson. Yes, Christine, my partner in our bead store from San Francisco, Bedissimo, Christine is coming. Yes, we will be shopping some really cool, great stuff for all of you all. We're going to be doing something that's a little bit different this time. We are going to be doing some live sales where Christine and I will be shopping that day. Then we're going to jump on a live broadcast and sell to you. It's like fresh, right? From the market, sell some of the items that we found. So we're going to bring some things home, but we are going to do some things in live sales. Now, I will have a whole broadcast about how the live sales are going to work, all of that. And so, Melanie, I will tell you the live sales, I'm going to let you know. We'll give you plenty of warning, I promise. I am going to do some mystery boxes. I'm not sure what I'm going to find. You know, every year things really, really change. But I'm going to do some mystery boxes. We're going to do some live sales. Don't worry. We're going to... you're going to have a great, really fun, immersive Tucson experience with me, I promise, with Christine and I. So I'm going to talk about the size. I'm going to talk about these beads. Let me tell you what the story is. So in your little packet, like you got last time, you have a little information card right here, okay? So the pouch that you get contains 6 strands of old Venetian glass seed beads from the early 1900s. I hand selected them, and it's from a collection that I purchased from our West African bead trader supplier from Ghana. They are historical beads, okay? So, but, you know, I am of the mind, I need to put myself on this here. I am of the mind that beads, my friends, need to be used. So even if they're vintage or antique or whatever, right now I'm getting a lot of inspiration for clothing. I'm going to go on a sewing retreat in March to do a little capsule wardrobe sewing, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be in the middle of March for me. And I'm looking at ideas and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of people that make things out of quilts, like vintage quilts, right? They make jackets, they make bags, make beautiful things out of vintage quilts. And there's this school of thought that's like, oh, how dare you cut into this piece of vintage quilt history, right? Oh my goodness. If not for those quilts getting out into the air, right, they'd be moldering in some closet somewhere, right? Same thing with vintage fabrics, right? Same thing, my friends, with vintage beads, right? So maybe they're old or vintage or whatever, right? But my friends, just because they're old, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use them, that they shouldn't be out in the air to be used, right? I have a vintage quilt. They call it a cutter quilt. When a quilt is kind of damaged, you could probably patch it up or whatever. I have one sitting over there. The other thing that I'm taking apart later this year is an old saddle. I got an old vintage leather saddle that I'm going to unpick and repurpose the vintage leather, right? So yeah, so exactly, Curtis, I could not have stated that better. Using the beads allows them to live. I agree. Using your things. Do not let them molder away in a closet, right? I'm of the age now, my friends, where I need to start sharing my stuff, right? So I love it. I use those older things. Use them. Don't save them for good. Cindy, I love this. Your mom made us all teddy bears from one of my great grandmother's quilts. They are cherished. I love it. I love this. I mean, come on, right on, Kate. Get some joy from it all. I agree, right? Get some joy from it. Exactly. And that is very much the same, Christine. The beauty of these beads is it's not like fabric. When you cut up fabric, you either have to make something smaller with it if you repurpose it, but beads are always beads, right? You can cut these up, repurpose them, and use them for other things. Okay, so let's take a look at these vintage beads. You know I have a love of vintage beads. The very first beads I ever bought myself were vintage beads from, they were old check glass beads, followed very closely by beautiful vintage African beads. So old beads hold I don't know, I just love them. I have a great love, but any bead. Give me a bead. I'll love it. So, another drink of espresso, and let's take a look at these beads. These are going to drop, just as a reminder, these will drop at noon Pacific time. Right now it's 10:55 a.m. They'll go live. I'll show you before I sign off. I'll show you where they are on the website so you can see that. But let's take a look, okay? So let me zoom out a little bit. I'm still working with my camera. That last camera I had, the color was not great, so I packed it up and sent it back. I'm going to try out some new cameras, but for now, I'm back with my old cam, my old iPhone cam that's working for me pretty well. I also wanted to show you some of my, I always like to start with some books. This is from my vast book collection. There was a woman when Christine and I had our store, and I think she may have been our customer at Bead Shop too, long ago. She would come, she took classes, she was a really great lady. She had a terminal illness and she passed away, which was very sad. And she was such a light in the world. And she had had her friends, after she passed away, she had her friends come and drop off her jewelry and bead book collection to us at Bellissimo, which was so great. We had a reading area. It was really cool. So we put our Bellissimo that is no more back in, but they were a gift of Nancy Bush from San Francisco. So Nancy, wherever you are floating around in this world or the next, we are still using your books, and I'm still passing on the knowledge. So it was like 50 books. So where my really, really great rare jewelry books, they came from Nancy, and she was kind enough to think of us. She would come, she would make jewelry. We'd keep her warm with cups of tea. We had a great time. And after she passed away, she gave us these treasures. So thinking of you today, my friend. So this one is called Ethnic Jewelry, and it has some really great examples that I wanted to share with you. This is a piece from Kenya. It's called a kamba bead ornament. The multi-colored strands of glass seed beads have pendant terminals of crescent-shaped aluminum beads right here. And these aluminum beads, like some we carry here at Bead Shop, they're made from melted down saucepans, and here are some brass coins. So the seed beads that you are getting from me, and this, you may want to screenshot this. It's, such a beautiful piece of inspiration from our sister beaders from long ago, right? Someone sat around the campfire or their house or whatever and beaded this beautiful object. So gorgeous. You can see multi-strands. They come together. It's hard for you to see, but it looks like they come together in a few places to hold them together, like here, here, here. These are all small seed beads, the equivalent of probably size 11 beads, though I'm going to talk about the sizes of beads for you in a minute. But isn't this just exquisite? There's another piece that I want to show you here. Here's some South African beadwork from the Zulu. And I'm sorry to you folks that I'm not good at pronouncing this. I'm going to say it's Sosa, but my pronunciation, I've just hammered that. But really beautiful pieces. This says, this beadwork conveys specific messages, often transmitted by the colors used, by their juxtaposition, motifs, and overall design. Really gorgeous. These, the notes are saying, are made by teenage girls for the young men of their fancy. Different colors are particular to each locality, which I love, right? It's kind of like a friendship bracelet, or, we'd make friendship bracelets for our friends, especially those friends we liked especially, right? So really beautiful. Again, look at this, just this, these beautiful stitches, this wrapping. This is exactly my inspiration for that boho cuff. Comes right from this Zulu beading. Thank you to those foremothers and forefathers who beaded before me, right? It's that same thing. Here's that boho, right? There's nothing new under the sun. So thank you for that inspiration. Look at this one. Here is a beautiful Samburu girl with her beaded jewelry. Look at the strands of her beads that she's wearing here. It says these extremely elaborate forms of adornment have developed since the early 19th century. Look at that. thank you for this inspiration. You know, we just, I don't know, we reach back through the ages, right? To our foremothers. Mostly our foremothers were beaders, though I'm sure some of our forefathers were beaders as well, right? So this picture of this woman looking at us through the ages really resonates. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for this beautiful inspiration. So let me, there's another quick book. This one doesn't have a lot of beads. This is also, it's called The Splendor of Ethnic Jewelry. I love to share my books with you. This is another one from Nancy. This has a lot of Middle Eastern jewelry from Persia, from that whole India, all of that kind of our Middle Eastern friends and brothers and sisters here. So really, really gorgeous. I think there might be a little bit of beaded jewelry in here from the Americas and from the continent of Africa. But another really, really beautiful one. Some of this brass, this old brass. We could spend all day together and I could just thumb through this picture book for you. But this one's called The Splendor of Ethnic Jewelry. And here's the author and photographer here. I have one of these. These are Afghan, I think these cuffs are. I have an old one that comes from about the late 1800s. I have one in my collection. Really, really beautiful. So again, thank you to our foremothers and forefathers and our jewelry makers that went before us, because we gained that inspiration from you. So let me show you. This is the piece that I did from the last one, the last bag that we got. I have some from this bag I want to show you. I want to remind you of how I put this together, because I wanted to kind of honor the spirit of these beads. This one I'm going to do a little bit differently, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how this one went together. You can watch the last broadcast. It was in May, I think, that I did this, last May. I wrapped this with Irish wax linen, and I kept all of these beads. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kept all of these strands together, and I kept them on whatever they were strung on, probably some kind of cotton cord. Then I cut them. I used some leather cord. I used one of my brass strands of shadows. I put this together and I wrapped it, right? And I wrapped some leather underneath so I could use a button and a loop for this. And I just used the strands as they were. The ones that I had last time, these were super special, right? These had this kind of cool little brass coil in the center. None of them this time had it, but there were some cool ones. Deborah, thanks for asking. The mystery bags aren't up yet. They are going to be up at noon Pacific time, which is 55 minutes from now. They're going to be up on beadshop.com. I'll show you where it is, and I'm going to end my broadcast before that. Okay, so you can get over there. Let me show you. These are ones that I kept. Yours have a little more variety of color. I had a few extra of these blue strands, so I just made mine a little more monochromatic. Some of them are a little monochromatic, but this one I think is the most monochromatic of all of them. So I kept this one. Let me lift the camera up, raise the camera up. I love it. We are watching from all over the world. Beading, it makes our world a smaller, friendlier, more inclusive, happier place, right? At least to me. I don't know. We have so many things now to worry about worldwide, right? So many things to worry about in our daily lives. but I really cherish the moments that we can spend together, right? In the creative space. And if we have differing beliefs or come from different backgrounds, we can all find common ground around the bead table, right? That's what keeps me going, what makes me so happy. So, as I said, you're going to get 6 strands. Pardon me. 6 strands in your bag. They're going to vary in size. Okay. Janice is also talking about tubular bead crochet or the plain straight bead crochet. That would also go with these folks. You could do the crochet with these. You could do a loom project or a bead weaving project with these, but note that the sizes, let me zoom in a little bit. The sizes of these are a little varied. Okay, they're not like the Japanese seed beads that are made now by machine, right? These were all handmade. These are Venetian, pardon me, Venetian glass, made over 100 years ago. So they're going to be a little irregular. I love this calming color palette that I have here too. So let me measure them for you. And I'm going to measure some of these ones from last time for you as well. There are some round, you're going to get some Rocal round seed beads like this. And can you see how they vary in size? Let me show you the width though. Let me turn this on. Let me turn one on that has a battery. Really? Is it time to change that battery already? Come on. No. Sometimes if you shake it, no. Nope. Nope. Keep looking for those beads. Worked last show. Let me get another one. I've got one over here on my desk. Hang on. Can't get anything right today, can I? Oh. You know, I kept hearing it. Oh, good thing I've got 3 of these floating around. And I have some batteries around here somewhere too. That I'll have to change that up. So sorry about that. Let me toss that. Yeah, let me show you. The book, both of the books are for a screenshot called Ethnic Jewelry, edited by John Mack, right here. And the ethnic jewelry one that I showed you, it is called The Splendor of Ethnic Jewelry by France Borel with photographs by John Bigelow Taylor. Okay. I love it. Yes, Deborah, your dad worked with glass. I love working with glass. It's true. They're handmade. The lampwork ones are made on a tiny rod, and then they're pulled off. The way that seed beads, a lot of these old seed beads were made, they were pulled a long cane, a long, skinny cane, and then like a bubble of air was blown through it or forced through it to create the hole. Then that was cured, or it was cooled. That rod was cooled, and then they were cut really fast, and then they're tumbled or annealed or however they finish them. But it's so super interesting. Super interesting. So here we go. Let me measure these again before I was. Wait a minute. This was on a second ago, wasn't it? Come on. There we go. Oh my goodness. What's going on with these? 1.5 millimeters across like this. Okay. And then these beads, these are equivalent to actually about a size 10. Some are skinnier. You can see that's about 7 millimeters there. These little tubes across run about 2 millimeters top to bottom. Some of them are a little more like tubes. Some of them are a little more like rocals or round seed beads. See if I can get that tip of that caliper in there. A little more than 2 millimeter. This one is a little skinnier, 1.6 mil, something like this here, 1.6. These are smaller, about 1 millimeter. Sorry, I was off. Okay. So yeah, the colors are gorgeous, and the colors are very typical of the vintage seed beads. I just love them, love them, love them. So let me show you what I'm going to do with these just real quick. I like to keep these together, kind of in their strands, but you could also cut them up, use them, string with them. I am going to grab one of the, I love how this little shadow bead looks in them. Let me zoom out a little bit. We're a little close. Looks in and amongst them. So I think I'm going to use that. I don't think I'm going to use any leather with this one, though I might change my mind. We also have our little slices, our little square hishi that I could throw in there, but I think I'm just going to throw in one single strand of the black shadows here. So now I'm going to put all of these together, and I'm going to kind of look at the length. Let me show you. Let me put myself up here in the front so you can see this. And I'll hold them up and I'll see, yep, these are all about the same size, about like this, about the same length. This one's a little bit shorter, but I'll elongate it, or I'll take a few of these off. I don't know what I'm going to do. But you can see if I bring them around to the center like this, this piece will be a little bit long, which I'm fine with. You can also shorten it by twisting it. Here's the one I made before. You can twist and twist and twist and twist, and you can put it on that way. Okay, like this, and have it twisted. Oops. And you can also drop it on the floor. Hang on. Let me get it. Okay. So this one, this length, you can see like this. I like this length. It's a nice layering length, stuff like that. I really like it. Let me measure it and tell you how long this is. 12. Door to door, it's about 22 inches, right? From here to here. So I'm actually probably going to shorten the piece that I make. So let's get to it, because I want you folks to be able to jump on the website and stuff and see what's up there. So let me come in. Pardon me. Let me take another drink. I've got some water here too. Let me try that this time. So yeah, about 22, 21. You certainly could add a disc, Janice. You could add anything you want to slide onto it. I might have a disc here. The hole's kind of small, but you could use a larger one. You could add a disc to just one strand, right? What do I have sitting here? Let me see. Anything that has a pretty big hole, you could add. I don't know. This looks good. I have an old trade bead, this old trade bead that I always have bopping around. I could put that in, right? So whatever you like there. Sorry, I'm going to take one more drink here. I guess I haven't spoken enough today to warm up my voice. So let me come in, and I'm just going to cut these up without fear. And I've got some scissors here. Let me see. I'll just use my cutters, my wire cutters. I had some scissors. Oh, they're all the way over there. Let me reach over. There we go. But I'll come in. The way that these are strung, see how they're strung on thread like this? Okay. So, hang on for me. Hang on. Bear with me here just a second. Hang on here. I'm just prepping this up. There we go. Sorry about that. There was someone who was obnoxious. Oh, and thanks. You blocked too. Perfect. Thank you. If my content is not for you, my darlings, move along. Move along. Go. Shoot, right? Anyway. So here we go. I'm going to cut this. Take this off. And this here, the way that they're strung with this really cool kind of raffia like that. So I'm just going to pull that off like this. And it just has this thread on like this. Okay. Yeah, Emily said tubular bead crochet. Emily, I'm hanging on to a few of these for you in this special Emily color. I've got just a few of these right for you. So I put them aside. Let me take off the other end of this. Like this. There we go. So now I've got my strand, right? So it's ready to go like this. Okay. So I'm going to do that with all my strands. I love it, Emily. Emily always has her ear to the ground, right? I love it. You're welcome, Emily. I saw that blue color and I'm like, I can't keep them all for myself. Plus, I haven't sent you a bead gift lately. Plus, I've got a little something else to send you. So I'll put it all in. Get it so it travels up the Central Valley to you. Let's take this off here. And all you have to do is kind of unwind that raffia at the end. There's no need, my friends, to restring this, right? So there's that one. And let's do this. So this is 3. Now you don't have to use them all. You could just make a necklace that has fewer strands. Doesn't matter. And thank you all for your kind words. You know, I don't know. People, it takes a lot more than that to get to me. I have a pretty thick skin, so, you know. I like to be brave with people and with beads. Let's cut up this one. Look at these. Look at those 10 aughts about. And hopefully, I may have these again. I probably won't get these back for a while. But I'm really happy with the bunch that I got this time. And if you still have yours from last time, you can mix them up together, right? This one has kind of a short little string. And so I'm probably going to cut these down anyway. So that short little string is cool. Okay. And then let me do this one. And friends, a little bit later at 12:30, I'm going to be going live again with my buddy Jen Cushman. We're going to talk about our France trip, our retreat, that's coming up at the end of May into June. And then Janice and I were just talking about the retreat for August. We've got some cool things up our sleeve for you for that retreat. We're going to be having a lot of fun there. So we've got some great opportunities to hang out together. If you're coming to Tucson, right? Let me know. We're there running around. Emily's going to be there. I hope, Emily, that we get at least one shopping day together to look at stuff. I think we will. We haven't really talked about it. I saw that you've booked everything, so we'll hook that up so we can hang out. Emily's going to be buying some cool stuff for her lines, her finished jewelry and everything. So we're going to hope to get you in, right? And we'll be able to let you folks get a peek behind the scenes with Tucson. There we go. I love raffia too, Stem Hilly. I do. I like tying packages with it. I like doing a lot of things with raffia. Okay, so here we go. Let me just come off there. Okay, so this is all like on cotton string right here, right? Dinner at Z Mom's. You bet. Dinner at Z Mom's. Our buddy Tanya's going to be there too, who makes beautiful jewelry. Z Mom's is our favorite Ethiopian restaurant in Tucson. Those ladies are so nice. You know, we've been going there for years. Emily, I think you were saying this was your 18th Tucson trip. It's got to be about that for me too, somewhere in there. I've been going since the beginning of the 90s, really. And the ladies at Z Mom's are so nice. They remember us. They're kind enough to remember us. If you've never had Ethiopian food, oh my goodness, run, don't walk. So good. So I'm going to get this bunch of strands all together like this. And you know what? I'm leaving out the metal. I did it last time. I'm just going to leave it like this. I love it this way. I'm going to get a plastic baggie. I know I've got one sitting around here. Let me grab one, repurpose it for my gluing surface. Let's see. Got to have one here somewhere. I have nothing but plastic bags. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue and I'm going to glue these together a bit. And I'm going to silk wrap. I've got just, this I think is fine Ceylon, but you could use regular as well. I'm going to bring them together. I'm going to cut my Ceylon and I'm going to silk wrap it. What a surprise. Okay. So I'm going to bring these in, line them all up, come in as close as I can, and I'm doing this with the Ceylon because the Ceylon's nice and tight and small, you know, thin, so I can get a nice, tight initial wrap on this. Okay. Yeah. Do you know that Tucson is designated a World Heritage Food Site because they have such a diverse mix of foods there? Did you know that? I had no idea. I found that out a few years ago. Okay. I'm going to add some adhesive, but I'm going to show you, Sylvia, when I do it. Very, very good, good ears, good eyes. I'm going to adhere it, but I'm not going to do it quite yet. Okay. So here's this. Okay. Just a little short piece. I don't need that much. Yeah, there's two Zamam's restaurants. There's regular Zamam's and Zamam's 2. There's 2 of them in Tucson. So good. If you want a beer or a wine, you have to bring your own beverages. They don't have a liquor license, but you can bring it yourself. They have a great plate ready for you to sit down and share with your company. Okay, so here we go. This way and tighten. We have a silk wrapping demo for you folks, a silk wrapping skill builder. Okay, so you can go over that. I'm not going to go over all of the skill builders right here for the moment. I mean, all of the silk wrapping rather for the moment, but I am going to do this other side. And then I'll show you a little closer. So I'm going to bring these in. And thank you for the nice compliment on my silk wrapping. It is really one of my go-tos. So I'm going to hold this up. Let me put me back on here, and I'll measure it for you and everything, Bonnie. Okay, so here it is. Here's my silk wrap side. And this, I'm going to say this is a 1/2 inch. I would do it about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. I'm going to show you. It's really going to depend because it's also going to be how I close it up, and I'm going to show you. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants right now. No surprise. So you can see I'm holding this up. You can see everything bunches together except this one here. Okay, so I'm going to come in and pull all of these so they're the same length. So can you see that there, how they're the same length? And I've got about 2 inches of these seed beads that are a little long. So I'm going to very carefully slide these precious babies off and put them in this little cup. And then I'm going to set them aside and I'll put these in a baggie. I don't want to waste a moment or a one of these beads. Okay. So now I'll come in. This doesn't really have to be lying flat, right? But, or, you know, when I mean flat, I mean that these strands could have a little bit of a twist in them. Okay. So here, and if I hold it up, that looks about right. And if I see about for the closure and stuff, so that's good. Can you see right here? Okay. So let me silk wrap the other side. Okay. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to get my seal on. Here it is. Cut that away. And let me see, I'm just checking for comments. And I could, if I wanted to put a disc on this, maybe just to make it different. Let me see if I can. This way. Because these seed beads are small. So I'm going to go through one way and through the other way. Let's just see how it looks. Again, designing on the fly, but you know, that's my favorite. Let's get this down. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me show you. Look, just this little disc. It could go down there in the center. Look at that. I'm going to leave it on. I love it. I'm keeping it. It does work with my outfit. It's because I wear a lot of blue. I like blue. And then I could always come back in a little bit later. Like if I wanted this to sit up here, I could do a little silk wrapping even over the top of the beads to hold it there or whatever. But I'm just going to let it float. Millie's asking, do we have any beads that replicate the bingo bead? You know, I'm going to look for some when I'm in Tucson. If you look, Millie, in our Tribal and Trade, some of the sand cast ones and everything, they're not exactly the same. Those old vintage glass beads that we used to carry a lot of, they just aren't really available anymore. But I might find some. You never know. But maybe when we look at one of our other traders, we can find some of those. I like that bead a lot. It's really cool. You know, we see at African Village is one of my favorite venues in Tucson. It's where all the traders go and set up. Mostly they're from West Africa. And it used to be really only beads, right? Now it's beads and everything else. There's furnishings and art and statuary and chairs and textiles. It's really just gorgeous. Baskets. I get quite a few baskets. And they're a lot of fun. And some of the dealers there, they have really old Venetian trade beads that are there. So we'll see if I can resist temptation this year. Okay, I'm coming in. I'm closing off this silk wrap. You find that end. Janice flashed the silk wrapping skill builder. If you haven't done it before, give it, just do some practice with it and you'll get it. Practice it before you try it on your finished necklace, right? It does take a little bit of practice, but if you go to beadshop.com and you go to our skill builders, you'll find it there. All right, now I'm going to trim this up. And let me tell you what I was going to do. And let me tell you how I think I'm going to pivot. Because looking at these tassels of thread back here, let me put this down and let me show you. Look at those thread tassels, how they just feel right, right? Let me show you what I was going to use. And maybe I'll still use it. I don't know. I was going to use, I like the juxtaposition of this super shiny clasp. Emily's been using this one a lot, right? This super shiny clasp with the antique of the beads. And what I was going to do is I was going to take that silk wrapped portion that I did and glue it right into the clasp. But maybe I can still do that because see, if I bend that fabric, the thread over, not only does it fill up the hole, right? But it allows me to kind of have these little thread pieces dangle out the back. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I can always cut them away, right? So let's do it. I'm going to get a brand new Zap glue because the Zap, I don't know if you watched it's very kind of Sawflex to have me and Abby Berta of the Bead Place on a broadcast on Wednesday. And I was gluing on the broadcast. You may have seen me. You can go over to the Sawflex page and watch, but I glued this little pearl thing on here, and then I was gluing more on the back. And my Zap glue was just about empty. I was struggling a little bit. So I thought today, and the Zap will be back in. You know, we have a whole bunch. And I guess you folks watched it and saw the Zap, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need more Zap. So it's coming back in. Put yourself on the list for the notification list, and it'll be back in soon because we're going to be using it at the Great Bead Extravaganza as well. At the very end, Karen, I'll show the books again. I'm going to show the bracelet I'm wearing, and I'm going to show you folks where to find these beads when they go live. Okay, I'm almost done with this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, folks were so kind to us over the holidays and purchased and things. And, you know, we're a small group. So Janice does such a great job keeping things in stock. So if anything is ever out and it's a regular bead shop item, you will see it back in. See how when I pierced the lid of that Zap, the glue just starts to come out. So even before I put this little tip on it, I'm going to get rid of some of that extra glue. Then I'll put that tip back on like that. And then I'll close it like that. Okay. So now I'm going to use my trusty toothpick, and I'll use that baggie. I keep my clasp closed together so I know that both halves are together. I'm going to put the zap on the inside of that clasp. And I know you're going to ask, is this the 5mm or the 4mm? I will measure it for you. I think it's the 5, but I think the 4 would work too. It was just sitting here, so I grabbed it. You get this, bend this over. See, I'm bending it right there. And that little 1/2 inch that I silk wrapped, the question was how long I did the silk wrap earlier. And I just glued it in. And that was about the right length. This one, you can see if I put the toothpick in there, that's about the length that I have on the inside of the clasp. So I'll hold it up against this, and I guessed right. So let me get the caliper. Is this the one that works? It is. Let me get the caliper, re-zero it, and I'll tell you exactly how much I wire wrapped or silk wrapped. About 6mm in length right here. 6 to 6.5. Come on. I need to change these for sure. And then this clasp, I'll tell you, I don't want to disrupt but the inner diameter of that one, this must be the 4mm, unless it's the length. Hang on. No, this is the 4mm clasp here. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Thank you, Margaret. That was my thinking. So I like that juxtaposition of styles, you know? So I'm going to put that zap all the way around, getting every last bit of it on the inside of this clasp. Using my toothpick to really place it nicely. Putting that aside. Getting my threads, bending them down next to my silk wrap, and shoving those in. The bulk of those threads, too, kind of help to fill up that clasp. Okay? So now I've got this other toothpick here. I can kind of make sure, like if I wanted to, and I probably do, I want to make sure that I've got enough glue in there because it doesn't have a contact completely all the way around. So I'm going to get myself just a touch more glue on that baggie. And I'm going to get my toothpick. Not a lot. I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to, the technical term is shove a little more glue down into that clasp. But not go overboard. Oops. Got a little bit of glue on this clasp. So I'm just going to flick it off there. Try not to glue your fingers to the clasp. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'll show you, you're going to go right on to beadshop.com, Lisa. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my computer screen and you'll be able to see that. There we go. Just a little more glue in there. Great. Now, what I'll also do, and what I would do is I would kind of keep all of this. I wouldn't disturb it too much while this glue is curing, but I'm going to come in And I'm just going to clip this. It doesn't have to be super even, but there was that one long strand that I wanted to get rid of. So let me show you these. I don't know. I'm loving this. I might even want to cut it a little bit shorter. I could even come in and tie a few more strands there, so I've got a little more fringe. I don't know. I love it. I also had grabbed some 0.5 millimeter leather that I thought maybe, I don't know, maybe I can come down here at the bottom and tie these together, or tie these up at the top and have a little bit of that leather also hanging from the back. I don't know. We'll see. But you can see these two closures. Get ready for a screenshot. I'm going to put these up close so you can screenshot that. Let me get that out of the way. This is the one that I did last time. I would use the Zap. Linda, great question. You could use E6000 for this. I like the Zap because it holds almost immediately. It's like a gel, right? So it really holds nicely. But E6000 would also work. 100% it would. So can you see that? Time for a screenshot right there for both of those. All right, let me show you. Before I move the camera, I had this is the kit that's coming. I sneak peeked it a little bit on yesterday's show with Sarah and Abby. This is the bracelet that I'm releasing for the Great Bead Extravaganza. These kits will drop a week from today. I've got 3 colors, and they're named after women innovators. You know, I've done a bunch of these where I call them kind of my adventure bracelet series. You remember I did this one with Expedition, and this one might have been the Laura, I can't remember, right? But this is another one in that bracelet series, badass bracelets for badass women, right? So you'll have to wait and see who this one is named after. Women innovators whose innovations were first attributed to men, but then the real story came out, and you'll see who this one was. A musical, a nod to someone musical. Okay, so this one is, they just need a little time to dry. I'll let this sit overnight for sure. But this Zap, what I really like, it is a gel, a super glue gel, and I love it. Okay, so let me show you on the website. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me go here. Here I am. Let me do this. And let me share my screen. Bear with me here just a second. And this. And let me put this screen up. There we go. And refresh your screen if you haven't. I hadn't. Present my screen, share it, and there we go. Okay, so here we are. If you go right here to beadshop.com, you can see mystery bags. See how it says right there, vintage seed beads? They go live today at noon. You just click right on that photo. If it's at noon, go ahead and refresh your screen so they load in. You'll find them there. I know, my friends, that these are going to go fast because they're so precious. Then you'll be able to see also on this. I know I will tell you, I almost named one of these after Emily Roebling. I did, but I thought since she got some play on the Gilded Age about the Brooklyn Bridge, we've named them after 3 more that have that innovations were first attributed to men, but really they were women behind them. So there are 3 more, but Emily Roebling, right on to you. But I thought since she got play on Gilded Age, that I would that I'd pick 3 more. But that's where we got the idea. It's Duria's idea. You can see I've scrolled down 12 days of Beadmas. Today, I believe, is the last day. New sales each day. And today, friends, it's chain. All of our chain is on sale. So today's the day to buy chain. You can stack it with coupon codes, but all of the chain's on sale. So today is the day. And you can stack it with a coupon code. If you spend $50 or more, use coupon code CHILL15. It'll knock 15% off. Mystery bags will also be 15% off if you get your cart above $50. So throw in some chain, throw in some stuff, use that coupon CHILL15, and you'll be good to go. If you didn't pick up your January monthly mix, we've got just a few of those left. So that's the story there. Okay, that's that. I'm going to remove that. Let's see what Patricia. Look up Helen von Michael. She was a scientist plus other fields. I found out she's my late grandfather's half sister. If she's still living, she's probably 94. That's interesting. She was a scientist. I love it. I love that some of you have binged the Gilded Age along with me. I love it. So yeah, badass women bracelets. I'm glad you folks are loving them. They'll be out a week from today. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry about that little bit of a rocky start and my scheduling snafu. But after you shop at 12:30, my friends, I start again on a broadcast with Jen Cushman. And Jen and I will be talking about my France trip, the France trip we're doing. So join me. She's going to talk a little bit about Dufort. She's going to talk a little bit about the run up to that trip. And I would love to have you come with me. Janice and I are putting our heads together to talk about our bead retreat starting in August. So stay tuned for more information on that. So that's it. Oh yeah, I'm wearing the earrings. These are from Emily. These are the ones she did the brick stitch with the Charlottes. I thought I'd wear them today because I love them. I love them. All right, my friends, I will see you next Wednesday for Bead Shop Live. All next week, we're going to be doing things a run up to the Great Bead Extravaganza. Keep an eye out on your newsletters. I really appreciate all of you being here because without you, my friends, sitting on that other side of the camera, supporting and shopping our small businesses, we would not be here for you. So thank you so much. And I will see you folks next Wednesday. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.